The girl was born with disabled beast ears. Due to a premature birth, her mother also left her. When other females have just reached adulthood, at that time, males struggled to bring them home for young. However, the girl, due to her congenital disability, does not have any suitors. According to the tribe's rules, unmarried orcas like this girl can only live alone. In the dangerous world of beasts, living alone as a female orca means death. Because she is afraid of living alone, the girl was so frightened that she got sick and died. And Jinwan, who passed away due to heart disease in the 21st century, she pierced this body. After receiving the memories of the previous owner, Jinwan was sent to the cave where her parents had lived. Although the cave is small, it's fine. She spread the few bee skins on the stone bed. After cleaning and organizing the house, he began planning his future life. As a female, she couldn't go hunting. However, the food they possessed did not need to be delivered. Now the cold season is 3 months away. Every year, during the cold season, due to the scarcity of food, large numbers of orcs will starve. Therefore, it is now necessary to work hard to store food for the winter. She cut some willow branches and wove a basket ugly as hell. He ran towards the small forest at the edge of the tribe. That place is completely within the tribe's territory. All the great beasts have been exterminated. It is very safe for females. There are also orcs patrolling. To be able to have life once again. Although life is very difficult. But Jinwan still values his little life very much. Mountain puppy. Did you also come to collect? Have you recovered yet? The females of the tribe saw Jinwan, who was thin and weak. They knew that he almost had to serve the beast god. They all became concerned and began to ask him. Jinwan's thin and fragile face showed a warm smile. "Hello, grandmothers. I have already drunk the shaman's bitter water and have recovered." The grandmothers around nodded in satisfaction. "That's nice." The mountain cub went out to collect. "Go to the grandmothers." Jinwan smiled and rejected the grandmother's invitation. "I just want to go for a walk." The shaman said that my fever has already been cured. Going for a walk will be better. I take the opportunity to see if I can find some food to collect. The grandmothers heard that the shaman did not say. Each one nodded seriously in agreement. What the shaman says is not wrong. Then, little boy of the mountain, I had space. The grandmothers went to collect. Jinwan said goodbye to the enthusiastic grandmothers. He walked to the other side with his rudimentary sixth in tow. I'm suffering inside. Grandmothers walk too fast. She, weak and thin, can't keep up. Better not to cause more problems. There are many plants in the forest, but she doesn't recognize any. Wasn't it said that the protagonist, when she went through, could only find sweet potatoes by falling? Where are the sweet potatoes? Heaven wants to put an end to her. Is this to starve to death? Clucking, clucking. The joyful crowing of a rooster interrupted Jinwan's sadness. His eyes flashed as he saw some wild roosters. They walked arrogantly right in front of her. They were not at all afraid of being captured. Orcs never hunt wild roosters. Before, in the tribe, hungry children ran to hunt wild roosters for food. In the end, they filled their stomachs with rooster feathers. And that's why they got sick. They had to drink bitter water for a long time to get better. Since then, the tribe has never eaten wild roosters again. Therefore, the wild roosters here are not afraid of orcs at all. They pecked quietly on the ground, enjoying themselves very much. Here, the wild roosters are not eaten by anyone. Isn't that what benefits her? Ha ha, life is brilliant. He threw the basket in his hands over his back. With it, he easily caught 2 fat roosters. He tied the legs of the 2 roosters. He put them in the basket and continued walking in the forest. What is this? It looks very strange. Jinwan bent down and started touching a plant that was almost the height of a person. The plant was full of red fruits, growing in clusters. They looked like small sausages. I just saw a red bird pecking at those fruits, so it should be edible. Jinwan plucked a small sausage. Carefully scrape some with your teeth. He put it in his mouth. The burning sensation instantly spread in his mouth. This flavor really feels all too familiar to me. This is the chili continent's version of the orcs. Ha ha, like a person who lives for spiciness. How can one not eat chili? Hee hee, collect, collect, collect. Delicious roast chicken. Add a little more berries and chili. Jinwan licked his lips. I feel that the water is going to overflow uncontrollably. Xiaozhan looked not far away, where there was a bird, looking at the little female with her eyes shining. The corners of his tight lips moved slightly without being able to help himself. She is so hungry that she has started eating bird food. I hadn't noticed it before. Now that I see it, this little female really is thin and ugly. His head is not even bigger than his fist. He frowned, his eyebrows black and shapely. Xu Yan took a few long steps. He arrived with Jinwan. Jinwan, immersed in her culinary fantasy. Jinwan was awakened by the sound of footsteps. With a jump, he hugged the basket. He looked with an alert expression at the place where the sound came from. Really, looking at him out of the corner of his eye, it almost blinded his titanium eyes. This orc is really handsome. Jinwan raised his head cautiously, glanced at the man's features, quickly lowered his head, and took a step back. He struggled to hold on to his worn out. He could only exhale without being able to make a sound. His facial features were deep with dark, captivating wolf eyes, and it radiated the cold indifference of a man. Isn't Shu Li's son Xu Yan? He really is a beautiful and serious beast. He is a silver wolf orc. He is one of the most powerful orcs in the tribe. And Jinwan took a step back. Silver werewolves are very clean. Their silver coat is always soft and shiny. Thinking about his dirty appearance now, Jinwan grimaced, although he didn't think he would be able to find one in the future. As powerful and handsome as that werewolf, but in front of such a beautiful beast, she looked so ugly. His face was still burning with shame. The sadness in my heart is about to become a river. At that moment, So-Yan felt a little frustration. The little female looked at him with fear and caution. That made him frown. He tore off an entire hind leg of the boar he was carrying on his shoulder. He threw at the little female's feet, raising his thin lips slightly. For you. When Jinwan came back to her senses after being fed by the pretty beast, when I came back to myself in surprise, the pretty beast had already disappeared. Jinwan sighed deeply. After so much effort, he finally met a pretty beast. He didn't even say a word. In addition, he kept someone else's prey without doing anything. He scratched his hair like a rooster. Xu Yan surely gave him meat because he saw him pathetic. He couldn't just take the prey of others. He picked up some chili peppers. Then he went to catch some chickens. He then roasted them and brought them to Xu Yan and the others. It would also be a thank you gift from you. To his surprise, he discovered a type of cumin fruit. Gray shell. When opened, it has black seeds similar to those of papaya. In fact, it gives off a strong cumin flavor. Looking around, there were cumin trees full of fruit. The corner of Jinwan's lips extended to his ears without being able to help it. Very happy, I wanted to take all this with me. Then dry and grind them for storage. Jinwan began to walk towards the direction of the tribe. This body is too weak, needing my sore arms and shoulders. I feel completely helpless. I really want to lie down and sleep soundly right now. But looking at the things I brought back, Jinwan got up resignedly and walked to the basket. Remove the pheasant and pork legs and process them. The first time I tried to make friction fire, it took over an hour. My palms burned from floating so much. Jinwan carefully picked up several fruits he had picked. He cut them into small pieces with a sharp stone. He stuffed the crushed fruits into the bellies of several roosters. Then he wrapped them in large sheets that he had prepared. He put a layer of mud on the outside and buried them in the fire. The simple version of the wrapped rooster is ready. He washed the skinny paws full of mud. Jinwan picked up a burning branch from the fire. He lit the pile of firewood under the simple lamp. He took the stone pot that he had already washed several times. He placed it very carefully. Its body is thin and small. That's why Jinwan still plans to make some chicken broth to replenish himself. In addition, the meat that is cooked is more tender and softer. Only there is no salt. In her memories, there is no such thing as salt in her from time to time. The orcs joined forces to capture a living beast, return it to the tribe. They shared fresh blood with tribesmen to replenish energy. Like all females, the previous owner of Jinwan's body also did not like to drink blood. In his memories, it is the warm liquid flowing down his throat into his stomach, saturating all his senses, with a rusty taste and slow, bloody sweetness. causing Jinwan to involuntarily tremble several times. The smell that not even the natives can stand. She no longer has much hope for herself. Just hope to find salt before the next time you have to drink blood. The afternoon sun is too warm. Jin-un, surprisingly, settled into the fire like this. He fell asleep on the cave wall. Until the aroma of chicken soup in the stone pot kept wafting around, Jin-wan finally woke up confused from her dream. He took the wooden spoon he had prepared earlier. He pushed the brown fat away from the chicken. Suddenly, the clear, fresh soup appeared before my eyes. He took a small sip and his whole body trembled. On his lips and teeth there was an indescribable sweetness and softness. The aftertaste is prolonged and subtly carries a fruity fragrance. Mixed with the tender chicken meat, it was something unforgettable. Reluctantly, he dropped the spoon in his hand. Cover the stone pot with large leaves. Jinwan placed something else on the other bonfire. He chose a beggar-style chicken. He removed the dry, burnt earth outside. He pushed the leaves out of the sky. The scent of meat mixed with the fragrance of fruit and leaves hits you in the face. He felt as if he opened a faucet in his mouth. Saliva flowed non-stop. He couldn't resist and tore off an aromatic chicken thigh. He still bit a big bite. The meat on the chicken was tender and delicious. Without letting Jinwan taste it carefully, a chicken thigh had already entered his stomach. He looked at the sky outside. The sun has gone home after leaving work. He pulled the basket that was on the side. He pulled the remaining chickens from the fire. Take out the tabby chicken and put it in the basket. Jinwan carried the basket on his back. He walked towards a cave that was not far away. Uncle Seuli, I've come to bring food for you. Seuli furrowed her sword-hard eyebrows, unable to help herself. He doesn't remember having contact with this little female. I went out following the sound and discovered that it was the tribe. How did you get here? Have you had dinner yet? Harrow heard the faint voice of a small female in the cave. I thought it was my own baby that had woken up. I followed the sound and found out it was the tribe. That little, helpless female that was in there. Jinwan looked up, facing the gaze of the Seuli family. He took the basket from his back and placed it in front of Garo, Aunt R.O. This is a go-go beast that I caught myself. Today, he went out to collect. Brother Siu Yan gave me a buzzing beast's leg. These hunts are my thank you gift. Ji-ro, hearing that, looked at his calf in surprise. Siohan still had that cold and distant expression, as always. He continued to handle the prey in his hands. He didn't cast a glance over there. This indifferent attitude caused Jiro to breathe a sigh of relief. Although in this tribe there are not many females, so even if it's your own kid, he will have to share a female with other orcs in the future. She doesn't want her child to have any relationship with Jinwan. It's not that he hates Jinwan. On the contrary, he really likes this small female with a soft character. Jiro really appreciates it. But no matter how much you like him, your own child is more important. Everyone in the tribe knows that Jinwan can't have offspring. She does not want her child to have no offspring. Their clan of silver wolves is rare. They cannot look for another female that cannot have offspring. This Gaga creature cannot be eaten. Eating it will make you sick. A tall and strong orc. Looking at the clods of dirt in the basket, he had an expression of being left with fear. His brother got sick because he ate the monster of ruin. He has been drinking bitter water for a long time. So far, he can't eat much meat. Yes. This Kukon beast cannot be eaten. Before, some hatchlings ate and almost died. I think she doesn't mean well. Everyone knows what to eat from the monster of sick ruin. You also brought it for Aunt Jiro. You can't have offspring. You can't see that the others have good offspring either, can you? You're an evil female. Brother Siu Yan imprisoned you because he pities you. But you want to harm him. Ignoring the noisy Mally, Jinwan walked to the basket. Take one of the bundles out of there. Aunt Roo, can you give me a stone buck? Harrow doesn't know what this little baby wants to do, but he still turned around to go to the cave to get a stone knife. But in the next moment, Manly rushed forward. He raised his big black foot. He stepped on and crushed Jinwan's seasonal chicken. The intense aroma spread, drawing the attention of those present. The orcs present drooled. How delicious, big sister. Can this be recorded? While Jinwan was stunned, An adorable and confusing little stuffed animal flashed. His tender and fleshy paws scratched Jinwan's arm. "You can't eat it, you'll die if you eat it." The big black paws crushed hard several more times. "Big Sister Manly, I've already eaten this squeaky bug. Nothing happened. Before, tribesmen would get sick from eating it. It was because he didn't remove the hair from the rooster. The cackling beast is delicious. You say nothing happens, so nothing happens. You're not a great shaman. Do you want to pair up with Brother Suyan? You are a female incapable of having young. There will be no orcs to match you, even if you try to please Uncle Suli and Aunt Rue. It's no use." Manly knows what the pain is for Sansai. He raised his eyebrow in satisfaction. "Aunt Rue has already told me. Before the cold season, I will let Brother Suyan become my partner. Next year, I will give Brother Suyan healthy offspring. Stay away from him. Otherwise, be careful, because I won't be nice to you." Jinwan looked at the ground with a pained look. "Dirty chicken meat." A little anger rose in my heart. "Sister Manly, you and Brother Suyan are a couple or not, it has nothing to do with me. I just want to thank Brother Suyan for his help. In addition, I took a go-go to the grandmother healer. Uncle Bo and the witch grandmother have eaten it. In the land of the orcs, food is of the utmost importance. In the tribe, many of the orcs are not satisfied. In the tribe, many of the orcs cannot be satisfied. But you waste food for your own interest. The beast god will punish you." Hearing about the beast god's punishment, the orcs became serious. Because of how difficult it is to survive, in the land of the orcs, food is considered vitally important. They see every harvest as a gift from the beast god. Therefore, the punishment for wasting food is very severe. Manly's sturdy figure trembled strongly. His eyes also reflect a certain confusion. If this monster can really be eaten, then she would be in front of everyone in the tribe, wasting the food that is a gift from the beast god. Even if she didn't know it before, she would also be punished by not being able to eat any food for several days. Her thick lips trembled. He strained to calm himself and straightened his chest. He looked at the small and weak Jinwan who was not far away. "The shaman and Uncle Bai are not here. You decide whether or not you can eat the croaking beast. Why should we believe you?" "I don't care if you believe it or not. I just wanted to confirm that chicken is eatable. What I told the tribesmen. Every day, there is not enough food to go around. It's coming. The cold season is approaching again. With a few more foods, some tribesmen could survive." Jinwan raised his head. His eyes were clear and bright. He made one unconsciously believe him. "Well said." The sorcerer approached with a wooden stick. "I've already eaten the croaking beast. It is an edible food. Before, we ate it without removing its fur. Only those who make mistakes get sick. Now the little mountain has found food. We should all thank him. Instead of blaming it here, every beast that discovers new food, they are all warriors of our tribe." A word from the old shaman is like a calm thunderclap. It erupted among the orcs. "There is another meal to eat. Cold season food can be increased a little more. More tribe members can survive, since we know that gurgling can be eaten. So I will make the decision. When the cold season comes, I will distribute a whole pig to the little bush. As a reward, discover a new type of food." For the tribe, it is a great contribution. Everyone's gazes were fixed on Jinwan. Everyone is full of gratitude and respect. "I disagree. Why give him a pig?" Manly screamed and ran away. The eyes full of jealousy were red. A female that cannot have young. By what right to distribute the clan's food? It is fortunate that the tribe has not thrown her out. Now it turns out that he also has to share his food with the puppies. The shaman turned to Manly, who was trembling with jealousy. "So what have you, female, contributed to the clan? Have you ever gone to collect? Have you cleaned beast skins? Have you had offspring? Have you found new food?" The shaman's words were like loud slaps. Pam, 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 punching Manly's face. The female's gazes around Manly all carried a hint of contempt and disdain. Although the females are weak, they do what is within their reach every day. Manly is known in the tribe for being a lazy female. Every day she will lie in the cave waiting for her male companions to return with roast meat. Mally wastes the food given by the beast god Take her to the punishment hole and lock her up. You are not allowed to receive food." The old shaman left directly after speaking. Manly was carried away by several tall orcs. He knew and struggles to suppress the smile on his lips. "You deserve it." "Oomph, she's not a bun," everyone shouted at her, pointing at her. And they say things like, "you well, me well, everyone well." Hugging the soft silver wolf, Jinwan pulls out a bundle of black mud from the basket. Then carefully placed the little one on the ground. "Aunt Ro, could you help me get a stone knife? The Gogo can do this just like me." R.O. pulled a stone knife from the cave. Jinwan took the stone knife. He used the rear end to hit the layer of dirt that covered the bush rooster. Then he stripped the large leaves inside. The white-skinned Gogo sow appeared before the eyes of the beasts. That scent penetrated the noses of all the beasts. It is extremely attractive to beasts. She spread large leaves on the ground. He threw one leg of the animal balloon, which gave off a delicious aroma, on them. He pushed it to the little silver wolf cub. The little boy's little black eyes shone brightly. Ahu fled twice, AHU, towards Jinwan. He lowered his head and began to bite it. "Aunt R.O., the Gogazao can do the same as me. It can also be grilled and eaten directly. Everything is very delicious. Please accept the rest of this. Lu, it's dangerous." "Bringing him food has caused so many problems." Goro stroked his head. "What are you saying? Your brother Xiu Yan doesn't talk much. Aunt Ro thanks Sansai for him, but you shouldn't eat things you don't know about in the future. LV extenduos. I won't do it anymore." "Don't worry, Aunt Ro." He looks at Jinwan with an obedient expression in front of his mother. He nodded his small, messy head. Shuyan laughed coldly inside. She is a very cunning little female. Just as Manlai was taken away, she said she deserves it, and he listened to it. Jinwan decided to bring his ugly basket and said goodbye to everyone. The boss lady, Naima, gently tapped Goro and asked in a low voice. I said, "Sister, how about Molly, a female like that? Sujan is one of the tribe's most prominent warriors. And paired with such a female? Isn't this what he let the monster do?" Jiro blinked slightly. "Sister-in-law, this metaphor really is. I just think that the manly males are fairer. I even found out about it. There are only a few manly males." Naima listened to his words. She was so angry that she took a deep breath. "The little Xiao in your house got sick last winter. You were worried about that little guy." "So I didn't know. Manly had one more male last winter." Last winter, Manly screamed that she didn't eat frozen meat. He didn't even eat the roast meat. He said that there was no fresh prey to eat. There was no other option. His few companions could only do so. Take turns going out to look for her. As a result, once they got out, none returned. This female doesn't know what it's like to care about her male. She only has herself in her eyes and in her heart. What is the point of being able to have offspring? Do you want your family to have offspring too? Simply paired with such a selfish female. Just to think that my own calf was almost hurt by me. Just mating with such a selfish female. In Harrow's heart, it seemed that a hole had been drilled in him. What came in was a cold, biting wind. Harrow grabbed Naima's hand tightly. Her lips were pressed together with the fear afterward. "Okay, isn't it still time?" "Wait, and go to the punishment hole to explain it to Manly. From now on, stay away from this little female. That's not a good beast." Harrow nodded. He wiped away the tears that welled up in his eyes. She was extremely grateful to her sister-in-law. Females, due to their fragility and scarcity, are protected throughout the continent from beasts. Even after pairing, there are many restrictions for males. Whenever the female is not satisfied with this male, then it can be abandoned at any time. And the male who is abandoned throughout his life, neither will be able to have a partner again. They will only be able to grow old alone. Fortunately, I found out soon. If only he had discovered Manly's true face later. That really is pushing their young towards the bonfire. Hiro got up and approached Juhuan, who was treating the skin of the prey. He patted her on the muscular back. "Breed. Wait for mother to get you a better female." Xiao Zhan was shocked to hear that. Then he put down the beast's skin and turned around. "I don't want to. My partner can only be me, a man." The woman only ate durian. He almost scares his traveling companion to the point of losing his mind. He shouted loudly for her to run fast. Jin Wan instinctively turned around to look, in front of a pair of sinister red-blood eyes. A strange monkey runs towards her, waving its limbs. In the big tree behind her, more strange monkeys were lined up, screaming and squeaking with his blood-red eyes. Jin Wan could smell the stench of blood coming from them. He tossed the durian in his hand toward the strange monkey and turned to run. His left foot, still numb, became entangled with his right. Jin Wan instantly stumbles into the undergrowth. She struggled to get up. His legs and arms were weak, without any strength. He could only hear the heavy sound of the strange monkey's footsteps approaching. Jin Wan, in an act of self-deception, closed his eyes. His life was really very hard. He thought that by being reborn in this beast continent, he would have a good body, to be able to live well thanks to the knowledge he has acquired. In the end, in just a few days, my life is in danger. Woe is me. The time waiting for death is extraordinarily long. The world seems to have gone silent. Are you okay, little one? You scared me just now. How dare you compete with the sharp-toothed beast for eating stinky fruit? Those sharp-toothed vine dressers are really strong. If it wasn't for Brother Siwan, you would have been killed by the sharp-toothed vine dressers. Sniff, sniff, under the smelly tree, not far away. A strong and agile silver wolf. Being in the circle of the strange monkeys, he moves from one side to the other. Its transformation generates a cloud of red fog, mixed with the heart-rending screams of the monstrous monkeys. There are more and more vineyards with dead, sharp teeth. Their monstrous screams suddenly become louder and sharper. The eardrums hurt. Bring them quickly. These sharp-toothed vine dressers are calling out to their companions. Sioyan's cold voice emerged from the group of sharp-toothed beasts, with a touch of solemnity. Then, 2 large tigers, with their help. With the help, they managed to escape the encirclement of the sharp-toothed beast. They ran towards Jin Wan and Hei, crouching down. Heche climbed nimbly onto the back of one of the tigers. Jin Wan struggled to get up. His body had no strength at all. His legs and arms were bleeding continuously, making every movement extremely difficult for him. In the distance, the cry of sharp-toothed beasts could be vaguely heard. A large herd of sharp-toothed beasts is gathering here. Jin Wan, with soft hands and feet, couldn't get up. I'm really too useless. They were just scratches. Why had he lost consciousness? Sai Yan emitted a sharp and piercing wolf howl. He transformed back into an orc and lifted Jin Wan onto his shoulder. Jin Wan also doesn't know how long they've been running. The landscape around him seemed very unfamiliar, until she stopped hearing the screams of the beasts behind her. Finally, all the beasts stopped by the side of a river. Jin Wan, dazed and dizzy, was left by Sioyan. Only when he touched the ground did he realize that his arms and legs were completely numb. Immediately, she felt distraught. His heartbeat beat in his eardrum. That jolt made him dizzy. It wasn't that he had been paralyzed by a fall, could he? Brother Sioyan, you are wounded. Hei's scream woke Jin Wan from his panic. She looked at the tall orc beside her. Sioyan was leaning next to a large tree. Her lips, well-defined, were tightly pursed. His eyes, like those of a wolf, were calm and deep. Looking at the man's serene and emotionless face, his heart trembled. This male surprisingly had an injured arm. And yet, he had been running it for so long. Doesn't it hurt? Upon returning to the tribe, it was the time when the members were processing the house. Sioyan and Jin Wan's injuries caused a stir in the tribe. This caused an uproar. The Seuli family and the clan leader met in the Witcher's cave. Jin Wan lay calmly inside the cave. Sioyan sat cross-legged on a beast skin spread out at the entrance of the cave. The shaman grandmother was tending to the wounds. The cave was extremely quiet. The atmosphere was unusually heavy. Jin Wan's heart also rose involuntarily. Speaking of this today, it was all his fault. I forget everything when I watch Durian. He does not have an ounce of caution. If it wasn't for Sioyan, he would fear that he would already be in the afterlife right now, and seeing the serious expressions of the beasts. So Yang's injury is likely to be very serious. Jin Wan felt extremely guilty. The shaman applied the crushed herbs. Si-chan cleaned the wound carefully, wrapped in beast skin. I sighed deeply. little Xiuyan's arm. It broke. So wasn't it a useless beast? Mali heard his companion say that Xiuyan was injured, unconcerned about the opposition of the guardian orcs. He hurried into the sorcerer's cave. He didn't expect to hear that Xiuyan's arm was broken. Broken arm. That's not like those disabled orcs in the tribe. They can only collect some wild fruits and make stone tools. Every day, what they receive is not even enough to feed themselves. What's the point of having a partner like that? Also, I'll have to share my food to feed him. Jinwan heard those words about the useless beast. She was stunned for a moment. Harrow looked at Manly, whose eyes were red with disappointment. Manly, my son Xiuyan won't be able to marry in the future. Let's forget about you two being a couple. I was worried before that Manly would make a big fuss. Now, what has happened to Xiuyan? I'm afraid Manly would love for there not to be this commitment. Sure enough, hearing that, a flash of relief crossed Manly's eyes. He pretended to be sad while wiping away tears that did not exist. It is okay. Since Aunt Ro and Xiuyan brothers don't want to pair up, then I won't pressure them. Well, since I'm getting a punishment, I'd better leave. With that, he turned and left without looking back. It was moving as fast as if there was a terrifying beast chasing after it. Seeing Mali leave, Harrow's emotion finally broke, and he began to cry inconsolably. Xiuyan's eyelashes trembled, and he pressed his thin lips together. Mom, don't cry. I still have sharp teeth, so I won't go hungry. Xiuyan just turned 35 this year. He is already a grown man. The cave where he lives alone has been excavated for some time. In the last few days, I've been moving things little by little inside. The beasts seek a new cave to live in when they reach adulthood. Food and life depend on oneself. The help of the beast parents can no longer be accepted. Now I've lost an arm. Sujan also knows that her life in the future will probably be very difficult. I will take care of Brother Xiuyan. Jinwan's soft voice echoed in the cave, words that were so soft. However, they were not covered by Jiro's crying. They were firmly transmitted to each ear of the beasts. The beast looked in amazement at the small female in the cave. Even Jiro stopped crying. Jinwan repeated firmly, I'm serious. I will take care of Brother Xiuyan. He converted like this to save me. It is also my duty to take care of it. You, Xiuyan, and we don't blame you. Mountain puppy. Jiro wiped the tears from his face. You don't have to feel guilty about this. Neither you nor Brother Xiuyan will blame us. Jinwan felt very bitter inside. The orcs here are really very friendly. The orcs of this world are unprecedented in their tolerance of females. Even if she is a female who cannot have offspring. Jinwan moved his body trying to get up. He realized that his arms had regained some sensation. She struggled to turn to the side, leaning me on the beast skin with both arms. He looked up at the orcs with a very determined look. I'm serious, even though I'm not as strong as orcs, I can hunt a lot of animals, but I'll try hard to gather food. I can help make food for Brother Xiuyan. I can help sew beast skins. I can do many things. Jiro turned around and wiped tears from his eyes. Good puppy, thank you. The beast's gazes towards Jinwan were of admiration and also of pity. What a good little female. Why can't he have offspring? It really is a great shame. No need. I can do it myself. A male, cold, and deep voice interrupted the beast's reflections. Yan looked at Jinwan with a cold and distant gaze. I don't need your help. I just want to take care of you. I just want to make you food. I just want to sew you beast skins. Anyway, you can't get rid of them. Jinwan shook his head. There was a stubborn look on Zangel's little face to deal with this distant and cold nature. Even the orc with an explosive level of combative power. I have to use my strength and show the spirit of a dead pig. It is not afraid of boiling water. Suyan's gaze turned cold. Jinwan cringed a little, somewhat frightened. The hairs on the back of her neck stood on end. This orc really has a bad temper. He also does it for his own good. Why is he so fierce? The shaman gathered the remaining herbs. There is an inextricable sadness in my eyes. Yesterday afternoon, he received the revelation of the beast god. This winter's tide of beasts will be more severe than last year's. The beastly tide of last year. Our Watson tribe has already lost many warriors. Now an orc as powerful as Xiuyan? He has even lost an arm. What will we do with the tide of beasts this year? Okay, if I ururo, you take the little one if you run back. Okay, stay. Jinwan felt a sudden chill down his spine. And me? Grandma, the doctor? Jinwan moved his body a little. His legs were still numb and they couldn't lift weight, although it was much better than being in the woods. But now she can't return to the hiding place by herself. You fill in the bushes of cutting grass. It is an herb that only grows around the stinky fruit tree. Even strong orcs get hurt by cutting grass. If you cut them, they will also lose sensation. Only those who live near the stinky fruit tree. The sharp animals that live there are not afraid of this grass. So if you see a stinky fruit tree in the future, don't run to it, it's very dangerous. Every year, many orcs are injured, unable to move by cuts in the cutting grass, and are killed by sharp animals. Jinwan suddenly felt a layer of cold on his back. Not having knowledge can really be deadly. Helrose sent Jinwan back to the cave and back. Jinwan lies on his own large bed, staring at the top of the cave. I'm really useless. The protagonists of time travel novels used to be amazing. But here, I'm just slowing everything down. Now I've even dragged Suyan to lose an arm. Wait, an amputated arm can be reconnected. Why didn't I think of it before? Medical conditions in the animal world are bad. Many orcs suffer injuries to their bones. Therefore, treating simple wounds can leave you disabled. As long as the bones are recognized, there is hope for recovery. The next day after dinner, he went to Zijerfuan Cave. Jinwan could clearly notice in Zijerfuan's eyes. She sensed the contempt the other person felt toward her. She didn't get angry, but asked cautiously, "That brother Siu Yan, maybe he has a method to heal your arm. But I had never done it before. I don't know how it will turn out. Would you be willing to give it a try?" So-Yan looked up at her as she said that she had a method to heal her arm. Suddenly, he raised his head and stared at her, undercurrent in his eyes. Which method? His voice was cold and calm. You can't hear a hint of another emotion inside. Jinwan shot her a nervous look and said in a low voice, "Originally, I planned to tell you in a couple of days. I didn't expect your wound to heal so quickly." Shoyan raised an eyebrow, signaling Jinwan to continue talking. "You just have to align the bone that was fractured correctly. Then secure it with a wooden stick. The best thing would be to have herbs like the ones yesterday's healer had. He could recover better." My wound has now healed. Su-chan raised her arm, which still hurt a little. "You're just healing the wound from the outside, but the bone is still broken, so now I have to break the bone back in the injured place and then realign it. I don't know if he will believe himself, although he knows what he should be, but he has never practiced it." Ginnin said that a little unsurely. "I'm not a sorcerer." He doesn't know if he will believe him. It's okay when... Does this mean you agree? Jinwan carefully looked at Siwan's expression. Su-Yan took a contemptuous look at her dirty little face. Then he looked away, unable to bear it. A look of confusion flashed through his eyes. "Before I take the arm, could you take a bath?" Jinwan was stunned. "This has been greatly despised. No, I don't shower. The shaman said that I have a fever for a short time. Don't go to the river yet." Jinwan said this through gritted teeth. Su-Yan had a somewhat awkward expression, "Okay? So, wait a few days until you can shower, and then I'll help you with my arm. Even if this little female calf doesn't bathe, she can understand why. But that doesn't mean you can tolerate it. That dirty little thing touched me. So could you call an orc to help me with something? Today I will be able to shower. Tomorrow I'll help you receive your arm." When Su-chan returned from the cave, behind him there was a golden-haired male. When Rael entered the cave, he saw Jinwan. He then looked at his companion beside him with an indescribable expression. "Brother, I didn't expect your taste to be so unique." Su-chan gave him a cold look. Then he looked at Jinwan. Jinwan signaled to her what she wanted. It wasn't long before Real walked in carrying 2 large wooden buckets. Jinwan, his eyes shining, was circling around the toilet bucket. "Brother Su-Yan, really, thank you very much. Tomorrow I'm going to tend to your arm. Tomorrow I'll tend to your arm. I can finally take a bath. I changed 3 barrels of water. The water gradually becomes clear. It was really very dirty. The next day, after lunch, I went to look for Shuhan. The cave was silent. The entire cave was empty. What happened when you woke up? Did he go to eat? Xiu-yan's arm is not yet completely healed. Tia-ro must have called him to come home for a concert. I waited until almost noon. Jin-hwan went to the cave next door again, but Xiu-yan's figure still didn't appear. Finally, he felt that something was not right. Although Xiu-yan didn't like it very much, but she was very excited to treat her arm. It's not that they haven't seen him until now. After thinking about it, Jin-hwan took a step towards Uncle Xiu-li's house. A slightly tired face appeared in Jin-hwan's line of sight. Jin-hwan knew this kind and tall beast man. This is the eldest son of his way, the uncle, and Rugi, the aunt, his mine. Hearing that Jin-hwan was there to search for Xiu-yan, a flash of water flashed through Xiumin's eyes. The noise became even deeper. The little brother has disappeared. Yesterday afternoon, some beastmen saw him come out, but he didn't return until the evening. The beastmen of the tribe went out together to look for him. They returned only in the morning. They only found a piece near the stinky tree, the skin stained with Adi's blood. Around were the corpses of sharp-toothed beasts and a few pieces of meat. The blood on the ground is Adi's. Jin-hwan buzzed's mind. It was as if someone was ringing a bell in his mind. His face suddenly turned pale. His lips trembled subconsciously. She was in love. His heart seemed to stop in an instant. Clearly, it's a day with a scorching sun. However, it felt like it was the middle of winter. Jin-hwan's eyes moistened. How could he have gone? They were clearly such powerful orcs. Xiaoyan is one of the strongest orcs in the tribe. He must have hurt his arm while trying to save me. That is why he was attacked by the sharp-fanged beast. Thinking of this, Jin-hwan suddenly felt very sad, and suddenly, she began to cry inconsolably, crying, with tears and snot. Xiaoman was stunned. Those who don't know that he cries like this would think that he was bullying. Jin-hwan returned to the cave and carried the bamboo basket. He walked step by step into the small forest, not far from the tribe. Life goes on. The gulp beast is no longer as stupid as it used to be. Seeing Jin-hwan approaching, they began to flap their wings and quickly walked away. Jin-hwan, very carefully. Every time I take a step, I first use my hand too. With a stick, he pushed the weeds in front of him. When you see an egg the size of a fist, pick it up and put it in the basket. There are many weevil eggs in the dense undergrowth. Before long, he had filled the basket. She rubbed her back in pain. He straightened up, put the basket on his back, and turned around. He prepared to go pick some more fruits. But suddenly, he heard a noise in the brush to his left. A soft whisper was heard. It was as if something was crawling inside. Then came the call of a calf. She carefully pushed the weeds away in front of her. It was a small lion, chubby and all covered in blood. The little creature, Xiaolan, is anxious. Are you a little creature of the clan? Where have you been hurt? I'll take you back to the shaman, okay? The little lion looked down at his little head with compassion. Jin-hwan squatted down and kissed the little lion. The little dirty head murmurs words of comfort. Breed, hold on a little. We are almost at the tribe. The shaman will have healed you. The little lion cub hummed twice. The round little head rested on his arm. With a slight air of weariness, he closed his small, dark eyes. Jin-hwan quickly walked towards the clan. The little lion is quite injured. After treating the wound, he drank a bitter liquid. Then he began to consider what to do with the little lion. As he scratched, he felt the soft new bed beneath him. The lion's cub is not theirs. Winter is coming. The harsh winter has always been the most difficult season for the tribe. Of course, no one wants to adopt the little lion. Jin-hwan decided to adopt him, holding the herbs given to him by the shaman. The little chubby guy went back to his cave. She placed the withered little lion on the stone bed, brought in a lot of dry hay from outside. He lashed out a thick layer on the inner side of the stone bed. He spread out his softer animal skin. Then he carefully placed the little lion. The little boy, with his bright black eyes, looked at her from time to time. Then he scratched with his only fat paw that was in good condition. I scratched the soft new bed that was under me. He raised his bobblehead and shot a glance at Jin-hwan. The corner of Jin-hwan's lips twitched. This little thing, that little look, clearly had an air of satisfaction about it. which means I'm very satisfied. He stroked the fur on the little lion's head, which caused the little boy's howls of discontent. He also raised his fat paws. I floated my little head a few times. The small furry face showed disdain. His little ears trembled as he touched them. Gino Ann loved to watch. It's still early outside. The orcs of the hunting team have not yet returned. Jinwan put his basket on his shoulder. He bent down and explained to the chubby little guy on the bed. The calf's sister has gone out to look for food. Stay still in bed. Otherwise, the wound will not heal. When you come back, the sister will bring you something delicious, okay? The little lion raised his black and bright eyes to look at her. Then he put his little head on his fat leg, which was not injured. He cried lazily twice, which indicated that he already knew. Jianwan saw that the little lion closed his eyes and fell asleep. Then he lowered the animal skin curtain at the entrance to the cave. He walked quickly into the small forest. Actually, since Jinwan was rescued by Xiu Yan last time, a bold idea arose in his mind. The sharp-toothed grass that left her paralyzed for a whole day last time. It is a natural anesthetic. And besides, it doesn't have any side effects. The little lion's front legs and 2 hind legs were broken. To fully recover, you need a proper fit. A pain that not even an adult could bear. I didn't want the little boy to suffer that pain. Jinwan was busy in the forest, running back and forth for quite a while. Finally, he caught some gurgling beasts. She also picked some tart and spicy fruits, and some fruits that she eats often. Then he carefully placed the basket under a large tree. He was holding a stick he had found. He headed towards the place where he had found the stinky fruit last time. She thought that she would have to be very close to the stinky fruit tree to find the sharp-toothed grass. I didn't expect that I still didn't see the stinky fruit tree. He had already picked up a good handful of sharp-toothed grass in the beast hide he was holding. Jinwan searched around for a while. He also harvested some sharp-toothed plants. This is how they wrap them in animal skins. He turned and went back under the big tree. He slung his basket over his shoulder and walked quickly toward the tribe. Coming home, Jinwan first looked at the little lion. She saw him lying like a small meatloaf, sleeping peacefully. Her small body moved up and down with her breath, and it still makes small, soft snores. Light the small twigs to cook for the little tiger. Now she also has someone she considers family. He put down the beast skin curtain and quietly made his way to the food storage cave. Her small body moved to the rhythm of her breathing. The little boy is injured. I'll make him an egg tilla. He lifted the basket in his hand. He pulled several creatures from within. Go clean up the river. Jinwan took her directly to the tribe chief's house. The chief and his female looked at each other. Coinciding, they dropped the food they had in their hands. That voice is from the little boy in the bush, right? She must be regretting having adopted that little one. Uncle Chief of the tribe, this is the creature I caught today. I want to change some beef with large bones. Feed the little one so that he recovers. Hearing that Jinwan didn't come to return the little lion, the tribe chief was immediately relieved. He laughed and raised his hands. I've been longing for the go-go you made. Just today I had to hunt the blue bull. Help me prepare these 3 go-go. I'll change some blueprint flesh for you. As a result, the tribe chief stuffed the ox leg into Jinwan's hand. The heavy ox leg made Jinwan stagger. He staggered but managed to hug her with effort. Letting a small female calf adopt him is quite difficult for the little one. I'll give you some food. Take it with you. After pushing and pushing, Jinwan had to take the cow thigh home. When I got home, Jinwan put it in the water. He pulled out the egg pudding that was warm. The little lion had already woken up. He couldn't move because he was injured. At this moment, he had a discouraged expression. He was resting his head on his chubby legs, lost in thought. Hearing Jinwan's footsteps, the little lion raised his round and chubby head. His dark eyes were fixed on the door. Their small ears trembled from time to time. Is the little one hungry? My sister made you a delicious meal. Is it okay for me to feed you? After speaking, he didn't wait for the little lion to answer. With his roughly made ladle, a spoonful of egg was served to the little boy. The little lion sniffed and his eyes sparkled. The food this little female makes is really delicious. Last time, the ghost was also very tasty, although it was very little. He opened his mouth shyly. He let Jinwan give spoonfuls to his mouth. The little lion's eyes shone even brighter. He also slapped his belly with a fat paw. There is also a special aroma, although it is not very filling, but the taste is really amazing. I want to eat more. Looking at the empty stone bowl, the little lion raised his dark eyes and looked at Jinwan. He also patted his belly with a cap leg. Jinwan laughed softly and tapped it on his little nose. "You're a naughty little guy. Rest assured, Sister is cooking beast legs. Soon you will be able to eat meat." The little lion stuck out his pink tongue, licking the crumbs from the corner of his mouth. Although I still wanted to eat this food called egg custard, but the beast is under the eaves, so it's best not to be picky. The little lion nodded with a sorrowful expression. Jinwan stroked his rounded little head, lifted the stone bowl, and walked out. "Oh, isn't it Mr. Sanner? I heard you adopted a disabled puppy." Just as Jinwan dropped the beast skin curtain, she heard that voice that she disliked so much. Looking in the direction of the voice, Manly was accompanied by 2 orcs, standing at the entrance of Hingwan Cave. His face showed an expression of malicious glee. "Now that food is so scarce, do you really dare to share it with a disabled puppy? Ha ha ha, little mountain guy. I'll wait until after the cold season. Seeing your bones being taken out of this cave by the tribe members." The evil on Manly's face made her look extremely ugly at the time. Jinwan shrugged it off without giving it any thought. May he live the rest of his life. But if I remember correctly, you were punished by the shaman grandmother. Do you really dare to go out without permission? Aren't you afraid that the witch will punish you? Manly touched the float on her abdomen with a proud smile. "I'm pregnant. So the witch and the chief of the tribe told me to go home to take care of my health." Jinwan looked at her fat-filled abdomen. "You can't really tell it, since you're pregnant." Then quickly returned to rest. She wants nothing to do with a female like that. "My baby is suddenly hungry. How about you give me some of the cave food? Give my baby some food." Manly grimaced greedily as he sniffed. From afar, he smelled a scent that was difficult to smell. The aroma of food. Following the smell, I arrived at Jinwan's cave. The smile on Jinwan's face froze. She always knew that this Manly never brings good news. That's really cool. This meal was given to me by the leader. He asked me to cook it, to nourish the little lion. Since you, Sister Manly, want it, then I'll go and tell the leader. Sister Manly, do you want to adopt the little lion? Manly felt a shudder in her heart. She quickly reached out to stop Jinwan. I only said I wanted food when I said I wanted that invalid. But that food is for the little lion that the leader gave. The leader said that whoever adopts the little lion will be able to have that meat. Jinwan became uncomfortable. Manly shot him a furious look, turning to the 2 companions. A fierce gaze kicked the gray-haired orc. Useless! Go home and cook meat for me. If I starve, I will end our relationship. The gray-haired orc, hearing this, showed a panicked expression. Quickly, he turned into a gray wolf and lay on the ground. Manly turned around and looked at Jinwan with a dark look. I'm waiting to hear the news of your death after the cold season. The little lion had a serious, round expression on his face. He listened to the conversation of 2 females outside the cave without understanding anything. In his heart, he also felt somewhat confused and anxious. That afternoon, he went to collect medicinal herbs. However, he didn't expect to be attacked by a group of sharp-toothed beasts. In the end, even though he had a wound on his backside, he tore the sharp-toothed beast leader into 2 halves. The group of sharp-toothed beasts withdrew. He also fainted. When he woke up, he discovered that, transformed into a golden lion cub, the 2 hind legs were bloodied and sore. He crawled through the grass, looked for jagged grass, and rubbed it on his leg. Allegria raised her fat paw that was not hurt. He then dragged his small body into the tribe's forest, but he didn't expect to be saved by that dirty little baby. Xiu Yan couldn't stop moving. The scent of stewed meat pierced the curtain of skins and came in, floating and passing under the little lion's nose. Sounds of desire for the source of the scent came from her belly. I didn't know how delicious the little baby was preparing. Smelling something so delicious, Xiu Yan moved her small body and wanted to get up. But the only thing that moved was the flesh of her fat ass. Happy, he lifted his fat paw that was not injured. With its small pads rubbed and short, it made Xiu Yan feel very frustrated. This claw probably wouldn't even be able to tear the fur of a long-eared rabbit. Me, the mighty silver werewolf? In the future, I will also depend on a small puppy to take care of my hair. If this continues, I will lose all my dignity by returning to my beastly form. Jinwan walked in with green beast meat cooked until it was soft. Seeing the face of the chubby little puppy Xiao Mao full of depression, he thought that he was in a bad mood because he hadn't eaten enough. He laughed inside. "Little kid, don't pout anymore. Sister, I have cooked you delicious meat. How delicious, come quickly. Sister will feed you." Saying that, he slapped her on her chubby little butt. Then he dragged his small nest to the edge of the stone bed. Xiu Yan stiffened. This little boy is truly Ordaz. He dared to slap the powerful silver werewolf on the butt. Xiu Yan, stunned, has a pair of black eyes, who were staring intently at Hing Wan. The little furry face again warms up. "Damn, little baby. How can you just slap an orc's ass like that?" The little lion screamed in annoyance. This sound reached Jinwan's ears. It was a complaint that I was preparing the food too slowly. She quickly pulled a piece of beef out of the stone pot, blowing carefully, hoping that the temperature wasn't so high. She offered it to the little lion, who was still looking at her with big eyes. On the edge of his little lion's mouth. "Come on, little calf, open your mouth and eat meat." The little lion stuck out his tongue and took the delicious meat that was offered to him with his mouth. The eyes were shining brightly. Chewing, he ate deliciously. That small disdain in his eyes had also been toned down quite a bit. Delicious, delicious. This beast wants even more. He swallowed more than half of the pot of beast meat. Little Xiu Yan's belly turned round. Jinwan massaged her small stomach. That was how he came out with the remaining flesh under the melancholy gaze of the little lion. Holding the meat that remained, he went out. This little guy eats too much. This amount of food is equivalent to that of an adult orc. The little ones of the tribe eat. He doesn't even have half his luck. So, little one, now you dislike that I eat so much. The firewood in the small clay stove has not yet been fully consumed. Blinking, he looked a little lazy. Jinwan placed the stone pot on top and heated it again. That's how he began to enjoy food intensely. Stewed beast meat is really delicious. When you eat it, it feels soft on your stomach, not as hard as roast beef. Finally, he had a decent dinner. Jinwan happily couldn't help but eat some more. Go to tribal open space quickly. Grandma Shaman has something to announce. Jinwan was still pondering how much he had eaten. He was frightened by the sudden loud scream. Without waiting for her to speak, Yeya had run towards the copper. Take his hand and run out. Slower, slower. Hey, what happened? And they haven't eaten much? Now she is forced to do intense exercise. I just feel like I'm gonna throw up. He turned around and saw that Jinwan was uncomfortable. He immediately slowed down. Sanlin, what's wrong with you? Are you okay? Jinwan took a deep breath twice. I'm not bad, I just ate too much just now. It's a bit uncomfortable to run like this, when he saw that nothing serious was really happening to him. Goe is relieved. She looked around. He saw that they were all rushing towards the clearing. So mysteriously, he walked up to Jinwan and whispered, I heard my father say, when the shaman prayed today, Lord God Beast gave a revelation. This year, the cold season will be extended by more than 30 days compared to last year. Hearing this, Jinwan inhaled a breath of cold air. Although I don't know if the revelations of the beast god really exist. But the shaman's predictions are always very accurate. She said the cold season will be prolonged, so this cold season is really going to get longer. In addition, the cold season has been extended. The lean days between harvests will be even more difficult next year. The shaman's words echoed like thunder in a clear sky among the herd. The females cried in fear in the arms of their males. The shaman sighed, the sound of the stick hitting the stones echoing. What's the use of crying? Will crying keep us from going hungry? Isn't it what the Watson clan has endured so long? What difficulties have we not faced? This time we will certainly be able to come out healthy. To get through this hard, cold season. Well, everyone can go. The joy of arrival was replaced by the weight of departure, although the cold season is now a long way off. But there is no good way to preserve the dam. Jinwan values his life more than anyone else. Upon returning to the cave, the little boy was sleeping soundly. He carefully moved the little boy into the stone bed. Jinwan took a piece of animal skin and covered himself with it. Lying outside the stone bed. Now I am no longer alone. I had a little one to take care of. Starting tomorrow, he would have to work harder to find food. Oh, and come out. Jinwan breathed more and more calmly and sank into sleep. Just before, he was sleeping soundly. However, Leon's little cub opened his eyes. His eyes were clear and clear. The season must be extended. He looked at the little cub from the side, thin and small. If you take your own words with you, you definitely wouldn't be able to survive the cold season. Very early, the little lion cub woke up from the urge to urinate. Yu Yan, the little cub, with the help of Jinwan, solved the problem of animal life. He used a clean beast hide to wipe the puppy's little butt. As soon as the little lion returned to his nest, he buried his round little head in the soft beast skin. No matter what Jinwan called him, he just didn't come out. Jinwan patted her chubby asterisk with a smile. You, little one, why are you so easy to blush? The puppies of the tribe are much more brazen than you. I'm going to see the food. Then we will eat a delicious rooster. The little lion's 2 soft ears trembled, but he still didn't look at her. Jinwan stopped teasing him. He opened the animal skin curtain and went out to prepare things to straighten the little lion. Little one, now I'm going to straighten you out. I'll just put your broken leg back together. Once the bone is healed, our puppy will be able to transform. And then he will become a powerful beastman. Adjusting the bones may hurt a little. That's why we need to use biting grass. If at one point your legs don't feel anything, don't panic. It is okay? A spark of surprise appeared in Xu Huan's eyes. This little puppy is actually very intelligent. Surprisingly, he was able to think of using sharp-toothed grass to relieve the pain. He shouted twice and nodded his head. He stroked her bobblehead. Jinwan carefully handled a wooden plank. He applied the biting grass of the stone bowl to the little lion's 3 chubby paws. The effect of the drug was quickly noticed, less than a minute. Xi Yang lost feeling. He raised his head and looked at Jinwan. The little puppy doesn't feel anything anymore. Jinwan turned around and gently lifted his injured chubby paw. Seeing that the little guy doesn't have any expression of pain, she felt relieved. It hit his front paw that had already healed. The little boy heard the clear sound of his paw. He doesn't feel pain. Jinwan sought to line up the little guy's broken bone. He took crushed herbs in another bowl, applied to the child's chubby legs. Secure with 2 wooden boards. Then he wrapped it in snakeskin. Because of his lack of dexterity. When he finished, it was almost noon. The little puppy's rounded head, resting on his fat little leg, drooling in sleep. Jinwan left food for the little lion. He lifted the basket and headed towards the small forest. Chamalon, do you also come to catch the go-go? I'm going to catch some takeaway. Jinwana felt, yes, the beast that gurgles at home has finished eating. I'm going to catch some to take back. By the way, little leaf, I just heard some old ladies talking about sharp teeth. What happened to the beast that left? Sharp-toothed animals eat only the soft, fragrant fruits. Once they harden, they no longer eat them, so they left here to look for food in other places. Was Jinwan confused? Can fragrant fruits also harden? Helly nodded her little head, yes. After ripening, the fragrant fruits harden quickly. Before, there were puppies that picked them up to play in the tribe. As a result, remove the outer skin. They found that the pulp became hard. It becomes thin when it breaks with a stone, which was like earth. But I didn't have that unpleasant smell anymore. It was quite sweet and fragrant. I tried a little bit in secret. A sticky mass in your mouth. Not tasty. In addition, her father noticed and beat her up. It was thin as dirt, a sweet, sticky ball. This pulp is hard and smelly. Why does it sound so much like flour? Jinwan suddenly felt alert. His eyes were shining. Hei suddenly had a bad feeling. She grabbed Jinwan's arm. Puppy, you're not planning to go pick those horrible fruits, are you? I'll tell you. That smelly fruit, although nothing happens when eating it, but it is really not delicious. Better collect more of those creatures instead. Jinwan patted Hei's chubby arm. Go fast on your way back. I'm going to pick up 2 to take back. If they're not good, I just throw them away. Do not worry. Seeing his determined expression, Hei had no choice but to give in. Then you should hurry to store food. The stinky fruit really isn't tasty. Jinwan nodded seriously. He headed straight for the forest of stinky fruits. Different from the last time he came, Jinwan's familiar durian smell is no longer here, if not because he remembers that this area is noticeably higher than the scrub elsewhere. He picked a stinky fruit that had fallen on the grass. Jinwan turned around slightly, wanting one. Opened the crack to see the pulp inside. But he couldn't find a single opening. He picked up a few in other places. There is no gap at all. That's not right, even though last time was dangerous. But she remembers clearly. These stinky fruits had, more or less, some cracks. Why are there none now? He picked up 2 and put them in the basket. Hearing the footsteps, he flapped his wings and quickly escaped. If this stinky fruit becomes tough, it really is like flour. Then I'll really have gotten rich this time. Loaded with 2 stinky fruits. Maybe it could still serve as flour for a meal. What interest can Jinwan have in staying in the forest? After much effort, he finally caught 2 coconut creatures. Looking at the hair of the creatures that flew around, Jinwan felt depressed. These creatures Goko due to capture by their tribe. Not as boring as before. In fact, they became very agile. Hearing the footsteps, he flapped his wings and quickly escaped. Jinwan used to catch 5 without difficulty, but now it has taken a lot of effort to catch only 2. I couldn't feel sadder. It looks like it's going to be a little hard for me to get Goko now. I said, Sweat, why are there so many animals clucking in this Watson tribe? This smell is killing me. Jinwan, who was busy catching animals by clucking. Suddenly, he heard a distant murmur of conversation. Quickly, he hid in the bushes next to the cumin tree. She crushed some cumin fruits and sprinkled them on herself. The rich flavor of cumin diffuses instantly. He covered up the smell he was carrying. I say that in the territory of the Watson tribe. What is this strange thing? This smell is really pungent. Okay, don't complain anymore. Quick, drop things and let's go. White fruits the size of a head were thrown to the ground. As he looked around, where they had passed, everything was of this type of white fruit. They fell into the undergrowth as if they were eggs of clucking animals. Jinwan exhaled deeply, and so he came out of the bushes, picking up what had fallen from Sweat and lost far away. White fruits in the undergrowth. The peel of the fruit is very hard. Jinwan couldn't even pinch it with his hands. When looking around, all that is vaguely seen are these kinds of white fruits. Listening to those 2 orcs speak just now, they are probably not members of the tribe. They are now stealthily prowling around the tribe, scattering so many white fruits in the territory, I don't know why. Jinwan always has an unsettling feeling in his heart, she thought for a moment, and then came out of the nearby bushes. She picked some white fruits and put them in the basket behind her. He quickly ran towards the clan. I hadn't come into this world a long time ago. Its original form was a small cub female that never left the clan, which makes many things in this world now feel like a complete emptiness. Fruit of the divine curse. The shaman's wrinkled face was filled with surprise. Where does this fruit of divine wrath come from, mountain puppy? Don't you know that the fruit of divine wrath cannot be carried back to the tribe? Jinwan felt a chill in his heart. All the land will not grow any plants again. The prey will migrate to other forests, the tribe that possesses fruits of divine wrath. There are only 2 options, death and migration. Jinwan felt a leap in his heart. Sure enough, his bad premonition came true. This fruit of divine punishment was not gathered by me. Today I caught a cuckoo in the tribe's forest. I saw 2 orcs from other tribes carrying large bags of skin, throwing these white fruits into our tribe's territory. I have never seen the fruit of divine punishment, but I feared that they would do something harmful to our tribe. It was only after they left that I secretly picked up some to bring back. He wanted the chief and the shaman to see that this was it. The shaman and the chief of the tribe listened to Jinwan's account. His face improved a little. Thank goodness Jinwan didn't mean to harm the tribe. Otherwise, the tribe really wouldn't be able to tolerate her. Sin pondered for a while and looked at Jinwan. Xiuyan, could you see what those two males looked like? Jinwan nodded. I saw them. Those two males were very thick and ugly. I overheard their conversation. This time they scatter the fruit of the divine curse in our territory. It seems that their tribe has assigned them this mission. I also heard that one is called Suda, someone named Sewer. Just as Jinwan finished speaking, we saw that the faces of the two of them were very unpleasant. Izan gritted his teeth. Every word seemed to come out clenched between his teeth. Filled with deep hatred, he is from the Tumen tribe. Their shaman should also have received the revelation from the beast god. This season is long. Next year, the house will become difficult. The Tumen tribe is lying in our territory. If our territory has no edible plants, the prey will escape into its territory. It's really despicable. This will mean the ruin of our Watson tribe, the shaman cursed furiously. This fruit of the divine curse is so terrifying. If you accidentally eat it, you will die. You will not die if you eat the fruit of divine punishment. Only the taste of this fruit of the divine curse is not good. After eating the fruit of the divine curse, the mouth aches and is bitter. You have to drink plenty of water to feel better. Then, the fruits of the divine curse ripened and fell to the ground. That place where the fruits of the divine curse grew, in addition to the tree of the fruits of the curse. No other plants grew back. Returning home, Jinwan took from the basket the fragrant fruits and the fruits of the divine curse. Carefully, he broke both fruits. It's different from the first time I smelled it. The stinky fruit emits a fragrant aroma. It smells in a very nice way. Remove the pulp from the stinky fruit and put it in the stone pot. Use a stone knife to crush the fruit pulp into a powder. The feeling is already delicate enough. Jinwan got up, took the stone bowl, and took out a bowl of water from the wooden barrel. Carefully flesh the stinky fruit. Knead the ground powder into a ball, although for now I don't know what the reaction will be like. But the texture of the stinky fruit ball is exactly the same as that of flour. Place the dough in the stone pot. Cover it well with large leaves. Jinwan raised a divine punishment fruit. Wash in a stone bowl. Carefully lick the skin of the divine punishment fruit. It has no taste whatsoever. Take the stone knife that was on the side. Gently tap the fruit of divine damnation to open a small gap. A delicate, pure white substance came out of that small opening. He hurried out. Jinwan was stunned. He instinctively squeezed his hand. The white, sandy substance flows along. It spread between his fingers and fell to the ground. In disbelief, he brought the hand that held the divine fruit. The hand with the fruit of divine condemnation towards his mouth. He stuck out his tongue and took a little bit. The pure and salty taste made Jinwan jump for joy. Salt? This is salt? It is very pure salt. The Orc continent is truly wonderful. The salt here grows on the trees. Taking a clean leaf, Jinwan broke all the divine damnation fruits in the basket. The salt collected completely filled a sheet. He carefully placed the large leaf filled with salt. Jinwan finally used the fastest speed in his history. He ran to the river and handled 3 beast chickens. With difficulty, he dismembered a chicken beast with a stone knife. Put it in the stone pot and fry it until the oil comes out. So I let it cook. I just let it simmer. The other 2 chicken beasts were seasoned with salt by Jinwan, hanging on the pole at the entrance of the cave. Xiuyan woke up from his sleep, sniffing with his small snout. He sniffed carefully. There is the smell of food in the cave, and the smell of a female puppy. It seems that he has returned. I don't know how much food he has collected today. He moved his small body. The 3 little legs still have no strength. Xiuyan, in a bad mood, put her chubby head over the front that was not injured. He also doesn't know when he will be able to recover. The beast meat in the stone pot is already cooked and very tender. Jinwan took some salt with a wooden spoon and added it to the soup. He stirred for a while. So he couldn't wait any longer and took a bite. The familiar taste made her instantly close her eyes with pleasure. At that moment, He was really about to cry with emotion. Finally, he ate salt. Finally, he ate flavored food. To be drunk for a moment, Jinwan finally put down the wooden spoon in his hand. He turned around and picked up the bundle of stinky fruit wrapped in large leaves, pressed into a thin pancake, cut into thin strips with stone. Then, he grabbed both sides and stretched them deftly. It wasn't long. Thus, thin, rolled stink fruit noodles formed. It took shape in Jinwan's hands. Toss the noodles in your hand into the pot and stir twice to prevent them from sticking. Soon he put all the remaining noodles in the pot. Before long, a bunch of steaming noodles were ready. Looking at the boiling noodles in the stone pot, Jinwan swallowed with difficulty, without dignity. She waited a moment, anxious. He assumed that they were ready. He then used the chopsticks to scoop a noodle into a stone bowl. He made a sound when he sucked it and put it in his mouth. After chewing a little, Jinwan's eyes flashed. The noodles made from the stinky fruit were very delicious. It could also be because it made them thicker. The noodles were very elastic. He proved that the stinky fruit could really be turned into a tasty food. Jinwan was instantly excited. In this season, stinky fruit is everywhere. And besides, there is no threat from the ferocious, sharp-toothed beasts. Picking them up is pretty easy. It really is the best food to spend the winter. I scooped up some noodles in a stone bowl. He also served some beast meat and broth. He took out some noodles in the stone bowl. Leon's little cub had already smelled the aroma of food. The little puppy has woken up to eat dinner. The little one can really eat. Xu Yang, the little cub, eats as if it were 4 big bowls. And an expression of great joy. He expressed his love for this type of food, noodles. While the noodles were still uncooked, Jinwan hurriedly rushed towards the cave of the boss and shaman. He invited the two to his home. Hessen and the shaman carried stone bowls, looking at the steaming, aromatic food in the bowls. They both looked wide-eyed, surprised. Northern mountains. What kind of food is this? The shaman has lived many years. I had never seen a food like this. The aroma of food in the stone bowl. Make the two beasts drool! Jinwan pretended to be shy while scratching her head. This meal is made with stinky fruit. I used a stone knife to crush the pulp of the stinky fruit powder, then add water and form a ball. Afterward, I used the stone knife to cut and stretch into long strips. Here's how this meal is made. My Peke and I have eaten it. It was extremely delicious. Stinky fruit. The sorcerer and Gessen looked at each other. Then, they looked carefully at the food in strips in the stone bowl, either because of its shape or its flavor. He lifted a white, soft, smooth, and rounded noodle. A smooth, chewy noodle that came with beast soup. The intensely scented noodles made Gessen open his eyes. In the blink of an eye, a bowl of noodles disappeared into Chief Gessen's stomach. Mountain puppy, bring me another bowl. Suddenly I discovered 2 types of food. It really is delicious. I've never eaten such delicious food. Gessen wiped his mouth and put himself away. An empty stone bowl that passed by. Jinwan laughed and accepted the bowl he offered. Then he filled another bowl with noodles. This thing called noodles. Jinwan, can this stinky fruit also be made into other foods? It should be possible. Today I just picked this up. I haven't had time to research other cooking methods, but at least it can be proven that the hardened, stinky fruit we can also eat. And it tastes very good too. I just don't know how long this stinky fruit can last. I still don't know. Ha 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 ha. Jinwan is really a good puppy. I've only been living a few days. In fact, I discovered 2 types of food. It really is the blessing of the beast god. Mountain puppy, you discovered the method to turn sling fruit into food. Would you be willing to teach this method to the other members of the tribe? Xin, after laughing out loud, looked at Jinwan seriously. Seeing the anxious look of the 2 old men, Jinwan nodded without hesitation. He called them to test the videos. He also intended to make public the method of consuming the stinky fruit. I'm just a little female puppy from the Watson tribe. As a former orphan, I was able to grow up safely. I was also raised thanks to the hunting and gathering together of the tribe members. Sin and the sorcerer looked at each other. In their hearts they had a bold position. Chuyana's recovered since she got sick last time. His character has changed, and he has become more intelligent. He has also discovered 2 types of precious foods. The mountain boy has become so smart. Surely he has received the blessing of the beast god. The tribal gathering is the entire forest of Enel. The whole tribe will participate. If you are accompanied by the mountain cub, perhaps she, blessed by the beast god, can discover more things that they do not know. Thinking of this, Hyzen and the witch doctor looked at Jinwan with their eyes. Some of them are shining. They dismissed the shaman and the tribe leader as they walked away, until the silhouettes of the 2 beasts were gradually covered by the darkness of the night. Jinwan rubbed his arms a little, which were a little sore. Return to the food storage cave. Clean the pot and the stone bowl, covering them with large leaves. Only then did he drag his tired body into the small cave. Jinwan raised his little head slightly, looking at the tired appearance of the little female. In his heart, a somewhat complex emotion was growing. Suddenly the cave was completely dark. Atientus directed me towards the stone bed. Following the direction he had remembered, Atientus reached the edge of the stone bed. Sleep well, little one. Maybe tomorrow your leg will feel better. Before, in the tribe there was a brother who had saved the sister, because he used the shaman's herbs. By the next day the wound had healed, but since you've hurt a bone, it should take longer. Plus, you're still a little guy. The resilience is not as strong as that of adult orcs. When you recover, transform into a powerful orc. The sister is waiting for you to bring many, many prey. Little Xiuyan's round head, resting on his own chubby legs, listening to the little female murmur in his ear. He talked a lot until he finally fell silent. The sounds of breathing around me gradually became relaxing and regular. Jinwan raised his head and looked beside the thin one. He glanced at the little cub female. The disdain in his eyes is no longer